Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel, The Movie Canon. I am your host, Giovanni, and this episode is a very special kind of video. I'm going to do my very first Oscars predictions video. In the years past, I've done, if I pick the Oscars, that's the type of videos that I would do. I would just make my own choices as to who I would give the Oscar to for that particular year. Not a lot of movies were released in 2020. A lot of them were pushed back. There were still enough movies that the Academy Awards decided to still hold an Oscar ceremony, and there's plenty of movies that were nominated or that could have been nominated for 2020, but just remember 2020 is a bit of an asterisk kind of year. I did watch a lot of the movies that came out in 2020, or at least a lot of the movies that were nominated for an Oscar, and some of them I didn't get a chance to watch, but I did try to watch some of the main ones, the main categories, like the Best Picture nominees. I did watch all of them, the majority of the performances. I believe I actually did watch all of the performances that were nominated for an Oscar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to predict based on what I think the Oscars is going to choose as the winners, not what I necessarily would have liked. And then I will also try to give you a bit of a reason as to why I chose, this particular title or this particular actor or actress. Sometimes I have to juggle, based on Oscar history, or maybe this person has already won an Oscar and maybe they're kind of excluded. So I might tell you who I would pick between the nominees. I may do that to some of the categories. And then obviously I'll give you my final prediction as to who or what will win. But before we get started, subscribe to this channel, The Movie Canon. Also follow me on Instagram, also at The Movie Canon. And you could also follow me on Twitter, also at The Movie Canon. So make sure to follow me and click the bell button so that you're notified when I post a new video. But that's it for now. So let's go ahead and get started with the Oscar 2021 predictions. Alright everyone, so let's go ahead and just get started with the very first category here. Best Visual Effects. The nominees are Love and Monsters, Matt Sloan, Genevieve Camilleri, Matt Everett, and Brian Cox. The Midnight Sky, which is that George Clooney movie on Netflix. Matthew Casimir, Christopher Lawrence, Max Solomon, and David Watkins. Mulan, Sean Faden, Anders Langlands, Seth Murray, and Stephen Ingram. The One and Only Ivan, Nick Davis, Greg Fisher, Ben Jones, and Santiago Colomo Martinez. Tenet, Andrew Jackson, David Lee, Andrew Lockley, and Scott Fisher. So this year's Best Visual Effects nominees are kind of weak. Again, 2020 is a big of a huge asterisk when it comes to the Oscars and movies overall. So there's not that many movies that would really stand out when it comes to the best visual effects. So usually we hear some, at least we hear a few that it's kind of hard to choose. In this case, it is a little hard to choose, but in a different way. I just don't think many of these nominees were really that good. There's not really one that really stands out. So I'm just going to pick Tenet, Andrew Jackson, David Lee, Andrew Lockley, and Scott Fisher. So I'm just going to pick Tenet, the Christopher Nolan film. The visual effects in the film, I didn't find it to be groundbreaking or anything like that. So yeah, so Tenet, I think Tenet's going to win. And I think it might be the only Oscar Tenet we'll actually get. So that's it for the first category. Moving on to the next one here. Best Production Design. The nominees are Production Design Peter Francis, Set Decoration Kathy Featherstone, and this is from The Father. Mark Ricker, Karen O'Hara, and Diana Stoughton. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Donald Graham Burt, Jan Pascal. Mank, David Crank, Elizabeth Keenan. News of the World. And the last one, Nathan Crowley, Kathy Lucas. Tenet. Okay, so of these nominees for Best Production Design, I'm going to choose Mank for the Best Production Design. When it comes to films about old Hollywood, the current Hollywood likes that. none of these really stood out for me. Maybe Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was probably a good contender. I wouldn't be surprised if Ma Rainey's Black Bottom production design actually gets the Oscar over Mank, but I'm going to choose Mank. I think it might be the only Oscar that Mank will get, along with Tenet. I think this might be the only one that they'll get, just this one each Oscar. So that's it for this category. The next one here, we have Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Maurice Langen, Laura Allen, Claudia Stolz. Emma, Aaron Kruger McCosh, Patricia Dehaney, Matthew Mungo, Hillbilly Elegy. Sergio Lopez Rivera, Mia Neo, Jamaica Wilson for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Kimberly Spittery, Gigi Williams, Colleen LaBeouf from Mank. Mark Collier, Dalia Coley, Francesco Pegoretti, that's from Pinocchio. So the Best Makeup and Hairstyling category has increased to 5. It used to be only 3 nominations. And as you guys might remember, Suicide Squad won the Oscar for Best Makeup and Hairstyle. And now you can say that Suicide Squad is an Oscar-winning movie. I'm going to pick Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Pinocchio might be the one that sneaks in and wins it. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to go ahead and choose Ma Rainey's Black Bottom for Best Makeup and Hairstyle. So the next category is Best International Feature Film. We have Another Round, Denmark. Better Days, Hong Kong. Collective, Romania. The Man Who Sold His Skin, Tunisia. Kevadis Aida, Bosnia and Herzegovina. I'm probably mispronounced that very, very poorly. So for the Best International Feature Film, I think they're going to give that to Denmark, Another Round. The reason why is because the director of Another Round was nominated for an Oscar as well. So all the other films I haven't really heard about. Frankly, I don't really know what they're about. I haven't seen any of the Best International Feature Films that were nominated. I was thinking of maybe watching Another Round because I want to see why the director got nominated, but I actually didn't get a chance to watch the film. But I'm going to choose Another Round to win Best International Feature Film, which used to be called Best Foreign Film. So the next category, we have Best Film Editing, and the nominees are Yorgos Lamprinos for The Father, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, Frederick Thoraval for Promising Young Woman, Mikkel E.G. Nielsen for Sound of Metal, Alan Baumgarten, The Trial of the Chicago 7. So I'm going to pick Mikkel E.G. Nielsen for Sound of Metal. I think they're just going to give the editing Oscars to Sound of Metal. The next category is Best Costume Design. We have Alexandra Byrne for Emma, Trish Somerville, Mank, Anne Roth for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Bina Dagler, Mulan, Massimo Santini Parini from Pinocchio. So the Best Costume Design, this one I think I might get wrong, but I'm still going to pick this choice here, Alexandra Byrne. I think Emma will win Best Costume Design, just barely. There's a very high chance that Anne Roth will win for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I think there's like a 50-50 chance there, so I think either of those two will win, but I think Alexandra Byrne will win for Emma. At least that's the one that stood out to me. Next category, Best Sound. We have the nominees: Warren Shaw, Michael Minkler, Bo Borders, and David Wyman for Greyhound, Ren Kleiss, Jeremy Molad, David Parker, Nathan Nance, and Drew Kuning for Mank. Oliver Tarney, Mike Presswood Smith, William Miller, and John Pritchett for News of the World. Ren Kleiss, Koya Elliott, and David Parker for Soul. Nicholas Becker, Jamie Bacht, Michelle Kotelenk, Carlos Cortez, and Philip Blatt. That's for Sound of Metal. And I think I mentioned this earlier. I think all the sound or editing nominations are going to go to Sound of Metal. So Sound of Metal, I think, is going to win, and not just because the title of the movie has sound in it. I think that they were able to use the sound to make the lead character in Sound of Metal, so that we can kind of hear what he's hearing as he's losing his hearing. So they edited that perfectly here. The sound itself, I would say, which is kind of like a cliche that you hear that a lot, the sound in Sound of Metal is kind of like a character on its own. So I'll go ahead and say that. But yeah, so best sound I think is going to go to Sound of Metal.